And this is where I want to talk about a recent investigation by Bubble Maps, because they went and looked at several Polymarket accounts. Once again, this is back to the prediction markets, about one of the traders on there who is linked to several accounts. And I actually got the chance to talk to Nick, the person who did the investigation, about what it means. Here was our conversation.
Hello, Kofi. My name is Nick. I'm the CEO of Bubble Map, which is an on-chain analytics company.
So you guys just analyzed a series of Polymarket accounts, which seem to be related to each other financially. And can you just tell us about the kinds of bets you saw them making related to wars, their accuracy, and just some of the timing things? Obviously, it's very hard to prove definitively, who this is without having the internal documents, but just tell us some of the red flags you guys saw.
Yeah, for sure. So to give you some context, recently somebody got arrested in Israel for insider trading. And it was on Polymarket. And in the article, which was not fully disclosed, there was a lot of secrecy around this news. We learned that somebody that was in the military personnel of Israel was using this privileged information to do insider trading. And he got arrested. And so this inspired us to look into this in more depth. Like, was this an isolated incident? Or is there more of this insiders who are benefiting from privileged military information? And so we looked into more of this Polymarket war bets and war markets, and we found that in fact, no, there was plenty more insiders or potential insiders. I'm going to be very careful with the wording. As you said, we're never sure, but more of these very suspected or suspicious trades that were happening on these markets. And on this particular post that we shared today, it was 7 accounts on Polymarket that were, for the most part, betting on US and Israeli military operations with a 93% success rate.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Decent.
And let's be clear, they weren't betting on events that were already like 90% going to happen. Some of their bets were on actually very unlikely events, right? At the time, the mainstream consensus was that these were unlikely events, like 80% not going to happen, they would bet the yes, or 80% going to happen, they would bet the no, right? Isn't that what y'all found?
Yeah, for the most part, at least for the trades that made the most money, of course, it was mostly trading at like 20 cents, meaning that the consensus was 80% not going to happen, and they traded against it. So not only the amounts were suspicious in the sense that it was very unlikely events, but also the timing. So as you said, the timing of these bets occurred, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 weeks before the resolution of the event, which was the strikes from the US and from Israel in Iran. And we've seen this network of accounts that were betting, dating all the way from 2024 to 2026. So it's been 2 years of successful trades. And then the part that is insane is the fact that they are connected on chain. Without getting into too much specificities, they were sharing MXC deposits, they were sharing Bybit deposits, they were wiring profits to the same deposit address, sharing funding address. It was a very obvious pattern of clustered Polymarket accounts.